So if you're anything like that, please keep watching the video. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to talk about something you requested. I asked a lot of you what do you want to see me talk about, and majority of you said you want to hear me continue the 30 days challenge because you liked the budgeting and savings video I did. Oh my god, I was so happy. But anyway, today we're going to talk about how to pay up your debt, how to get out of debt, how to not be in debt. First thing first, we're going to talk about the steps. Then we'll talk about the actual steps. I know you'll be like, what's the step and the actual step? The main step you have to do first before you go into the actual step is taking a deep breath. Yeah, take that deep breath because you're going to check your account balance. Yes, we're going to know what's in our bank account before we even start anything at all. So you can hop off the video right now, go check it and come back. I'm waiting. Yes, I'm waiting. Anyways, since you've done that part, let's come back into the video and see what we're going to do next. So now I want you to get a pen and paper. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you in the former one, but please go get a pen and a paper because you're going to need to write this down. Now I want you to write who you owe, how much you owe, and how much interest there is in what you're owing. Sometimes there isn't really much interest or there isn't at all, but I just need to put it there because you're going to need to know all of that. So let's get into how to pay the debt, because now we know what we want to do, but now how do we do what we want to do? So I had to go and look up these 3 methods. I already knew 2 before. The last one I'll tell you guys have a disclaimer, but when we get into the last one, you'll figure out that disclaimer. So the first one is the Snowball Method. Yeah, this method was brought up by one of my best financial advisors out there, Dave Ramsey. I love listening to him. He gives one of the best advices. So I really love him, and he's one of the people that I've always talked about this method a lot. So I really looked into it and I understood what it meant. This actually means paying the smallest debt first while adding little money to the other debts. So I'm going to put something here so I can explain everything I'm talking about, but for now let me just use my mouth. So let's say you're owing MTN 2,000 naira. Why am I calling MTN? Because a lot of us here owe our airtime and data. We always borrow. Actually, I have that problem. We always borrow. So yeah, we're adding that there. Then maybe you borrowed something from Mama Ikechi, you don't have the cash to pay us at that time, so you just went to eat something, you borrowed it. And then the last one, you're one of your friend, David, let's just call David. He gave us money, 500 naira. Just add it up there. So now you have to pick the smallest debt. Writing everything down here, the one we're going to start paying first is David's debt because it's actually the smallest debt. So that's what Snowball is all about. So while you're paying David's debt, you're going to be adding smaller amounts into the other 2. So let's say the amount you kept for all the money you're owing after doing our budgeting, our savings and everything, emergency savings funds and all those things. So the remaining money to pay off your debt is only 500 naira. Let's just assume. Now you collect from that 500 naira, you pay 300 naira to David, which is the highest, and then the highest money you're paying out. And the remaining 200, which is 100 and 100, split it into 100 naira, and give one to MTN and one to Mama Nkechi. So that's how the Snowball Method works. So once you are done paying off David's debt completely, because by the time you add the next time, it's going to be completely paid. Once you are done paying that, you go straight up to the next one, the smallest one, the next smallest one. So that's how paying in the Snowball Method works. And when I was listening to this method, I really liked it because you are still making efforts, but you are making it like this works so quick, because by the time you are done paying the smallest one, you go into the next one. And I'm someone who likes seeing things happen sharp, fast. So once I see it happening like that, I'm always happy and motivated to actually do what I want to do. So that method was majorly meant for someone like me. There are a lot of people who actually like paying the highest steps first, knowing that they've conquered the beast and they're not going down. So for those of you who like that one, I think you will like the avalanche method better. Yes, the avalanche method is more of, like I said, paying the highest debt and making little payments into the smaller ones. So it's more like the opposite of the Snowball methods. But this avalanche method has actually been backed up by all the mathematical statistics. It has been backed up by all the mathematical statistics, and it makes us understand that paying that gives a lot of people hopes, because you are done with the biggest one. But the avalanche method is not really for me. I feel I'm more of a Snowball Method girl, because I love seeing I love seeing my work happen quickly and everything being paid fast. So if I'm doing the avalanche method, at some point I'll think I'm not even going anywhere, I'm not progressing or anything, and it really disturbs me a lot. So there are two methods. Anybody can pick any one they want, but that's my own pick. I pick the snowball method over the avalanche method any day. So the last method I'm going to talk about is the hybrid method. And this hybrid method, the disclaimer, I told you that there's a disclaimer. The disclaimer is that when you have interest being put into the other money that you're paying, the other debts you're owing, don't use this method. I do it a lot because I don't really have interest to pay in most of the debts I'm owing. But when you do, please don't use this method at all. It's not advisable to use this method when you have interest building up in the other debts. So what's the hybrid method? The hybrid method is more of like paying only one debt alone, preferably the smallest debt, picking it out first, adding all the money. Like now, like I said, let's go back to MTN, Mama Nkechi, and David, and the 500 naira. So the 500 naira just goes straight to David's debt. You cancel it off, you're done paying that, you go next to the next one. That's how it happens. There is no I put smaller amount into the other one. That's just the way hybrid method works, and I use it a lot. Actually, that is even the first method I learned. Pay off one first before you go to the next one. So yeah, but I also learned that you can't do that because it's not easy to do it when you have interest building up in the other one. But if there is, I will tell you to go for the snowball or the avalanche, any one you want to pick. So pick the one that actually resonates with you the most and then go for it. So yeah, those are the three methods I found out to pay your debt. But let's be real, you have to have the money to pay for it, and there are some actual debts that are bigger than what I'm saying. There are people who owe like a lot and it's not as small as I just called. Those ones are just like examples. So if you are actually in that category, or you just want to pay off your debt very quickly, there are some kind of things you need to do, and I just thought of two, and I'm just going to tell you the two I thought of. So the first one is our budgeting rule and how 75 10 10 5 rule, and the rest you can actually use that, and then the money you add more to doing the things you want to do, let's cut it down a bit and just add it up to the debt money, and then pay it off. And then after you're done, you can actually go into whatever you were doing before. Just let's pay off that debt, let's get out of it and never get into it again. That's just it. And the second one is actually starting a side hustle. And like I said before, we're going to talk about this later in the video. Side hustles and businesses you can actually do that would just be there for you. And I've still been looking into it and knowing side hustles that you can do. And like I said, I'm starting my own business. So I'm going to give you based on what I started and everything. So I really want that video to be more legit, because by that time I've already started very well and I'm able to explain how my own business is going, use the experiences from my business to actually tell you what's happening. So we're going to actually have that video, but just stay tuned because you're going to see it. Anyway, yeah, starting a side hustle actually is one of the best ways to get out of debt, because you add more money into your basic income you already have. So that's the two ways. So staying out of debt and actually paying up your debt are two different things. You can pay up your debt and then still go back into debt just because you keep owing. So in the next video, like I said, I'm going to talk about how to stay debt-free, ways that you should know never to go into debt again. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on post notifications so you know when next we post. And then if there's anything I didn't add up that you wanted to add, or there's a way you figured out how to pay your own debts and you're like, oh Joy, this is going to be a very good way, you can comment it down. And if there's any questions you have to ask me, please comment down. I read all my comments. I will answer to your questions. So until next time, grow, glow, and go. Bye.